That's the excuse.
Well, if this is an anime, of course you're definitely going to get a cold if you're standing in the rain for more than 2 minutes, and a cold is near deadly. Like your breath turns to steam, and you're off of school for like 2 weeks, and your friends have to bring you homework. So, so Norlai, you're not getting out of your homework. You still got to do it.
Well, there was yet another person we have to go after. I don't know why. Undead or something. I don't know. It was sniffling, and then Peggy Sue, poof. But I think we got her back. Did we get her back yet?
She's back.
She's back. We got her back. And then we went and we stayed in the cabin because it was raining. And then the other undead guy came. The big one. The big silver one.
Yeah.
He tried to bite Bright, and that wasn't nice, so we all left.
Yup. Well, and then everything turned into a big old like slip and slide for a while, like a dog pile on the Dragonborn vampire here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, not.
All right, so Norlai, I do hope you recover from your cold here. Maybe it's just a little bit of a chill, and you always do seem to be running. It gets the blood pumping, kind of raises the body temperature, and maybe that's just what you need. Maybe Norlai's just an adrenaline junkie after all.
I don't like any of it.
Speaking of tieflings that are running around and doing stuff out in the rain, let's go over to Mordecai. What's going on with you, bud?
Well, learning that Raphael is, in fact, undead alive, and possibly a revenant, maybe a person who was raised, I don't know. All of this is so confusing, and really all that I wanted to do was to find him and ask him what the hell is going on, but he ran away.
Yep.
Who knew he would have been such a coward? But that's...
Shots fired.
No, I guess we'll find out sooner or later, I guess.
Okay.
Sooner or later, yeah.
Let's see. Then I guess let's just kind of go in order. Well, after Norlai anyway. Celine, you were next to dash out of the cabin. What's going on with you?
Well, currently, holding Jade's eye, trudging through the rain, looking for Raphael. I just, it's a very messy set of events right now, and I wish I knew.
Alrighty.
I wish I knew what to do.
Well, I guess the mystery will continue as you work things out with your knowledge and your faith here.
Yes, just like how we ask, at the same time I'm also asking, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Where indeed. Maybe you'll find her
Northern
one day.
Ireland.
Now let's pop over to Jade, who actually seems to have everything figured out, but maybe isn't expressing herself in the most compatible fashion. Hi, Jade. What's going on with you?
Good evening.
Oh.
As for what is going on with me, it would seem that I'm able to end up speaking with a certain degree of fluidity. How unusual. But nevertheless, right now we have another dead man walking. Starting to become a thing, it would appear. Now, this wouldn't hurt me so much if it wasn't the fact that I was the one who put it in the ground. That's the truth of it, and whether an accident or not, he is now walking about as some kind of unholy abomination by my own hand. Feeling a certain degree responsible for that. If I wasn't believing that this was how it may have played out. Though, at this point, the wheel needs to be removed from the gears. He served his purpose, and he's out there staying his welcome as far as I am concerned, much like Mordecai. Put him in the ground and be done with it.
It's dirty work, and someone's got to do it.
Yes, and rather a willing hand. Still, it's not all bad. As we end up continuing, I have no doubt that we will be getting closer to Norlai's brother. Though, when we do, I wonder what fate will befall him. It will be curious to end up seeing that along with his companions. Also, to note, while we are out here in the rain, I want to end up, well, maybe taking a moment to see why Raphael had come back. If my dear Celine is correct, then that would also imply that he has come back with purpose. Perhaps that purpose can be leveraged to our own. And if not, well, it wouldn't be the first time we buried him.
And now, we come to our dear gnomish friend Bright, who
It's me.
is also outside of the cabin, and take it from here.
So, I kind of agree with Jade that, really too many dead people walking around. I mean, I'm okay with Mordecai, and I'm a little okay with Tazray, but I have to draw the line at Raphael. That's just entirely too many dead people walking around for my tastes. But I think we have a more pressing problem, which is that Tazray is about to go berserk because he really needs some blood, and Mordecai has the blood and he's not here. So, right now, I'm really just concerned that making sure that Tazray doesn't eat me, or Norlai, or Grayson. I think I'd probably pick Grayson. No offense, Mr. Donkey.
No, we just got him.
I know, but it's better than eating me. So, anyway, that's where I stand, and I think that's a little more pressing problem for me at least. And I'm also really curious where Celine and Mordecai have run off to, and also Jade, because if we all get separated, we're gonna have to spend like the whole day tomorrow getting reconnected, and we're gonna lose so much time. And today is turning into just a complete mess. Okay, that's all. I'm done.
A mess indeed, with all the events that are happening. Everything is all muddy and getting trampled around, and it's water and just blood. Oh, everything is everywhere. And can anything be simple? And the answer to that is no, because then it's boring.
That's fair.
So here we are. We have come back to our rainy, the rainy field. We have Mordecai is standing in the field out this way, gazing at that tree, and the others, well, we have Jade and Celine have taken the path south. Norlai ended up casting a couple spells. Perhaps she meant to use them differently, but clearly she was sick and didn't fully understand. And so she cast spells anyway that she might not have otherwise. But hey, that happens. And it clearly was not the fault of anyone else who was piloting you. And then we have over here, Bright, who you were leading Brayson through the brush, correct?
That's correct.
You're leading Brayson through the brush, around the side of the house, while Tazray was kind of moaning and groaning after uninvisibling himself. I mean, all of you who were affected by it dropped it, but he was able to be subdued by DJ's sleep spell, and actually, I think we'll have DJ kind of run out too. He's not sure what's happening. Bright, did you want DJ with you, or do you want to give him some kind of a suggestion?
No, I mean,
Not a
so
magical
is
one.
Norlai coming with me?
Yes.
Apparently
Like
so.
before. Okay,
I would have found out with you immediately.
okay, I'm okay with that. And also, really know what DJ would do. He's not my character, so he's going to do whatever he's going to do.
Okay. Well, no, if you don't want to give him any sort of instructions like, oh, cover me or, let's go find someone, then yeah, I'll pilot him. But if you wanted to shout out.
It would most likely be something like, watch out for Tazray, make sure he doesn't eat you.
Sure. Let's do this then. He will stay in the cabin, though he will stay by the door. And if anything is going to happen, he will shout at the top of his lungs, and you will know that something is amiss. Now, he's not there to be a hero, so you don't need to necessarily worry about him. And we'll go from there.
So, I had a couple other questions.
Mm-hmm.
So Mordecai's here on the map, but that's not where Mordecai actually is, right? Where's Mordecai
Correct.
actually?
Mordecai ran off in a direction because y'all were trying to find his tracks. So he's... whoop.
Oh. I'm like way past Jaden's.
Mordecai ran away. So I'm putting you... You're on the map, but you're off the map here. When I put you... You're in the field out this way. And Mordecai... Celine and Jade have been trying to track you down and follow you because you just sort of like zipped out. And unfortunately, those two got a little bit of rain in their eyes. And so this is where we had left off. Mordecai is being tracked by a clairvoyance spell by Jade and Celine. But as far as Bright would know, unless she's doing any kind of magic herself, bees.
So the other question I had is, where's Tazray?
And Tazray is inside the cabin on one of the beds. I think he was right here. I thought I had a little Tazray.
Tazray's not on the map.
Yeah, I thought I had a little Tazray figure, but I'll have to see if I can drag one out. But yeah, so he is, until I put a token out there, just know that he is outside, or he is in the... Alright, well... Oh, because I'd have to cycle him. Alright, I'm just going to make a little mini window with him, and we're just going to put Taz in the cabin. Yay. You all might not be able to... yeah, you can't see that. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, just whatever. Taz is in the cabin. Oh, here. Taz is sleeping. Oh, sleepy boy. I know that's supposed to be the cart. The cart is still there. Nothing has happened to it. So I'm just going to put this this sleeping figure representing Taz right there.
Okay. That's really helpful now.
Okay.
Okay. All of my game state questions. Oh, and so for the rest of the party, there was some confusion when I was talking to Matty earlier. Some confusion about what sort of equipment we have for Brayson. Does he have like a pack saddle, or is he just pulling the cart?
I thought we agreed that there was a pack saddle.
Okay, pack saddle it is. Okay, that's what I thought. It was confusing. I asked Matty about it, and we didn't know. So okay, now we know.
A pack, yeah, because you're discussing what you'd be picking up here with your used donkey, a high quality used donkey at that. And there's a couple different options, which was a saddle or there's saddle bags, and you bought saddle bags, so that was just like extra storage.
So you can't have saddlebags without a saddle. It has to be a pack saddle. It's the thing. You can't just have saddlebags. They'll fall off without a saddle to attach them to.
I just was figuring they were straps, so it'd be like a cargo donkey.
And that's a pack saddle.
You can have one. They cost 3 gold, so that's fine.
Okay, so that's all. I'm done with the accounting phase of the game.
Okay. Treasurer, take the notes that apparently by amendment, party funds are to be adjusted appropriately.
Did we not already spend it?
Yeah, we already spent it. We spent like 4 gold on like the saddlebags or what.
Yes. Okay. Saddlebags in the equipment section are their own, because it's an accessory. It's extra storage.
Right.
Yes.
So
but there is also a pack saddle, which is 3
Saddle
gold.
costs 5. Oh,
So.
I thought it was 5.
Oh, hey, let me zoom in.
It's 5. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it was 5. So we're a gold in the hole. We have
Yeah.
1 less gold than we thought we did. But it's okay now. We have the accounting done.
There
I
we
should
go.
have gone with to the donkey store.
We have the correct equipment. We bought
This too is D&D. Make no bones about this,
Specifically.
my friends.
specifically for carrying stuff, not people.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So I'm done now.
Okay.
Let's proceed.
All right. We finished with old business. Now we move into new business. Where's my gavel?
I had one, but it's in the bag.
Oh.
So, all the way across the room.
Exotic. I'm not sure if I offered it, but no, I don't think they have donkey insurance. So I think that's why they're kind of being a little risky with leaving them around Taz. All right. So anyway, with that resolved, and let us continue forth here. Bright, are you looking to just get away from the cabin, or what is your intention? Because you and Noralai are the last ones behind. With Mordecai going, he knows where he is, and the others are going to be able to track him.
So, I had several things that I wanted to do, and I didn't realize that Norlai was following me, but that's good because we're probably better off together than separately. So the first thing I want to do is I would like to run over here where everybody was stepping on rakes before, and I want to see if there's anything that resembles like a shovel or maybe a spade. A spade would be good. I know I might not be able to see that from where I am, so I'm ready
Sure.
to move.
You know what? This is due to interesting dice rolls and situational circumstances, as well as just paying attention to what's been going on there. There are apparently a variety of garden tools that have been left out, and you are able to find a common garden tool like what you seek.
Okay, I would like a spade, please.
Okay.
And then yes, other than that, I'm just going north, hopefully in the hopes that we can wade through these brushes and maybe start to get a little bit away from Taz. And I also want to use my memory and think back if we have seen or crossed any streams or rivers or otherwise running water in the recent past.
Okay. Nothing major yet. You are going to be having to cross the Perfume River at some point in time.
No, I don't mean like 2 days from now. I mean like in the recent past.
Okay, then no. I mean, the pond is really it, and it's not really flowing water. So
Then yes, I would like to.
an occasional ditch, maybe.
I'm gonna come. Can't move the donkey, but I head north and take the donkey with me.
Okay.
And Noralai is welcome to come as well, and also Peggy Sue. I would like her to come this way too.
Sure. Woo 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 woo. Okay.
You can join up with us.
Let's now go to the other end with Mordecai. Mordecai, you are out in the field, and I think we left off with you having lost the trail. You're standing in the rain. If I recall correctly, we're kind of describing kind of like an Andy Dufresne moment from Shawshank. What are you doing now that you've lost the trail?
Feeling a little frustrated because I can never find anything, but if I can't find him, then I'm gonna just head back. I'm not gonna go terribly far.
Okay. For Team Celine and Jade, Jade, you were looking through your own eye in clairvoyance, and we did a fun little trick. It made sense in the context, and I thought it made for good storytelling here. So, you are going to see yourself through your eye, as it seems like Mordecai is walking back in the direction in which you are going. So you're going to see yourself approaching closer to you, with the other you being Mordecai and his point of view.
Lovely. Celine, would you be a dear and hand me that back? It's no longer of use.
Right. And she just hands Jade her eye back.
I have been given a party parrot.
She as she puts it in, she opens her eye and it's entirely white. You can actually see a little bit of the iris at the very top, and instead of going down to readjust, it actually rolls all the way around at the back of her head and rolls back up. That's still taking some time to get used to. Thank you. He'll be back in now. Points to the horizon.
Sure enough, Mordecai is slinking back through the rain.
Disappointed.
He didn't find anything.
Nope.
Celine,
Well.
you're awfully quiet.
I'm just trying to think of the next move that we should take. There's so much, but
I
yeah,
think
so little.
it's fairly obvious what we need to do. We simply end up pressing on. If in fact Raphael will end up tracking us and is looking for another opportunity, all we need to do is wait. So being
Very
on our
true.
way and continuing on, well, if our fates are to cross, they will cross
suddenly fuse very
at time.
Discoda.
However, there are more pressing matters as we end up continuing down the road. And to be fair, this rain is getting somewhat tiresome. So if we can end up simply moving along, that would be fantastic, darling.
Well, I can't disagree with that statement. Right, let us be going then.
I think that's the first time I think you've ever acknowledged me making sense.
That's the first time you're making sense.
I've always made sense. You never stopped to listen.
Well, it's not that you don't make sense, Jay. It's that this is the first time that the sense that you made has been simple.
Complexity has always been your strong suit. Simplicity has never been that thing.
I'm so glad that you can choose to end up flowering the language in order to end up accenting a positive out of what is clearly not something you're accustomed to. Nevertheless, time is fleeting. I'd rather end up continuing to move before I end up losing this state, and in which case we go back to the same old patterns. And I think you'll agree that you want me to be in this state for as long as possible while I am still useful. Which, if I'm still remembering things, that should give us about a 3-day time span.
Right. Let us be going then. And
Thank you.
we're gonna head towards the Mordecai, because that's really all we can do.
All right. Well, it's easy enough. You see each other getting closer in the middle of these flowers. Lightning, lights up everything for a brief moment. All of the flowers, glow and are lit up. In fact, some even kind of respond, if not to the rain with little like bioluminescent sparkles, then some almost seem to flash back and answer to the sky as it's continuing to pour and refresh the land that is emerging from winter. Celine, for a moment, in this flash, maybe the wind, the rain, something, you are surrounded by a swirl of what appear to be rose petals, perhaps. Make a perception at advantage.
Ooh, yes, I will make a perception at advantage. Roll 20. Please don't be a pain in the butt. Go, that one there, and perception.
Hey,
That's
look
a
at
23. Good rolls to start off the day.
Rose petals, yes, red, delicate. On closer inspection, though, where you have almost these kind of like teardrop petals, because they're curved and more bulbous at the end, where they would kind of go down to connect into the stem. Each of them is folded in a way that looks like a skull, and trailing behind could be beautiful hair, or even the streaks of fire from a spell, a comet, a fireball of some kind. And after these red petals have swirled around you, and for that moment, one just sort of like tumbles as your eyes focus and the lightning flashes in those precious milliseconds. Everything just vanishes again. Just as quickly as lightning is over, so too does this moment pass. And you feel a little heavier.
I'm gonna look in my pack because I shouldn't feel a little heavier, and I know there's not something like on my person because I know. So I'm gonna look at my pack.
All right. Dreading, perhaps, that the Fae have been right this whole time, you sigh relief as it's not you that has gotten heavier. There is, in fact, something that has manifested in your pack. On quick inspection, it feels square and leathery, and it has some weight to it. However, the rain is still coming down.
I'll wait to get inside, like to get out of the rain first before I have a look at it.
All right.
Tick tock, tick tock.
The three of you then continue to return back to the cabin, and this is when you come across the scene of Brayson, Bright, Noralai, who her name doesn't start with a B, unfortunately. But there's the three of them, and they were traipsing around. You can meet up with them as well, if you wish. You can play hide and seek. You can hunt them for prey. I don't know you.
Why are you threatening me with a good time?
I would prefer not to be hunted for prey. I already have Tazray doing that, so
The most
I don't want you
dangerous
to do
game.
it too.
No, that's not on my list.
No.
Ugh.
What? You've never partaked?
We don't eat gnomes. As you know, we're vegetarians, which means we're not very tasty. It's basically just like eating kale.
Grain-fed gnome.
I like kale.
Then you'll love gnome.
I mean,
It's
to be
so
fair.
good to hear everybody laughing again.
Oh, jeez.
You carried on the wind, but between the drops of rain and over the occasional peal of thunder, there is a.
Well. Shall we get moving before we have guests?
It is a
So-
melodious moo.
Very well.
Could be DJ.
Walking up, I ask, what's going on? are
Yeah,
you outside?
Tesla's trying to eat us.
Tazray's going
DJ's
berserk.
still back there.
What?
He's apparently he decided he really needed blood right now, and I don't know why he couldn't have asked us that when you were still there and there was blood available. But he waited until you left, and then he really wanted blood. And now
Jade immediately blitzes towards the door and kicks it down.
Same.
And mind you, everyone, Jade still looks perfectly fine. Wonderful hair, not a drop of water on her.
Storm swept and fabulous.
Yes. Storm swept and fabulous.
Still have stringy wet floofs.
Yes, that's true. It hasn't been so kind to you, unfortunately, Bright.
And Jade did them up so nice. It's really a bummer.
Okay. On approach, you're dashing back. The melodious moo has been heard, even above the din of the storm. And from inside the cabin, there is definitely there's noises. There's some bangs going on. There's all kinds of ruckus. And let's see, we have 5 of you.
Yeah, I'm rushing inside too.
I'm gonna stand outside the door, like a ways away. If we're all going.
Yeah, so I didn't see the other people's tokens on the map. But, Norlai, why don't you look after Brayson?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I don't want to be the first one in the door this time. I'm gonna put in the door.
Do I bring Bryson back down here?
Mordecai, if you're charging in here, you can give me an insight of all things.
Okay. Pretty insightful, except for today.
Well, except when you need it. It's like, say, 50% of the time, I'm correct 100% of the time. This is how math works.
Usually pretty good reading people.
Probability.
Okay. Well, it might have been the noise of everything, everything that's going on, but you there's no further insight or bonuses or whatnot as you move in and you. I mean, are you like kicking in the door or like explain how you wish to make?
The door, so.
What's that?
Jade said she did it.
Oh, Jade. I'm sorry. Jade's kicking in the door.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I
Jade
followed
the Swole.
behind.
Okay.
Jade the Swole, obviously.
Jade. You. Ooh.
I will be just a moment.
Yep. Jade, as you kick in the door, and you are greeted with an interesting sight as the air has a bit of a shimmer all throughout it. And you are hearing the sound of Tazray with his rough and gruff voice and DJ are making music. Not in that kind of a way. But similar to your performance in the Tumbled Wench, where just the air had a quality to it. It took on this blue tinge. It had this feeling of expression. Here, you are getting... You're getting an impression of violence. You're getting an impression of aggression. You're getting just an expression of perhaps some of the most primitive, primal feelings that a person can have. And so here, all the ruckus wasn't necessarily fighting, but you have DJ and Tazray are making metal together, where they're banging, and and Taz has that gruff, darkness surrounding me, all that I can see. I don't have dark vision. And so DJ looks over to you as you barge in, and he gives you kind of a, well, let's see, so if he has 4 fingers, he's giving you kind of a, like, come in here, while he's still like, pound in, and he's giving you the signal to come inside, as he's still trying to keep Tazray occupied with this expression of himself.
At this point, Jade breathes maybe a temporary sigh of relief as she ended up fearing the worst for DJ. She looks about and just checks if he's alright. Was he bitten or anything of the such? She knows that he's donated, much to her chagrin, just by looking at him. It doesn't take much to notice, but when she ends up eventually bringing her own pulse down, she starts to walk towards DJ. She doesn't interrupt the music,
Yep.
but she is quick to observe and allows them this moment, if only on the fact that he did the same for her. So she's not about to strip away DJ's ability to help as much as she is currently, how do I put this, conflicted with the look of DJ, the Minotaur Bard, trying to play with Tazare, this guttural, primal music in there. It's startling, to say the least.
The rest of you can, you can file your way inside here. Jade's not tossed out the door as soon as she enters. You are hearing ruckus and chanting, music, singing. The lyrics might seem a little violent or dark, but hey, Tazray seems to be having a good time, and DJ's still alive and hasn't been savaged.
For as much as I would love to end up allowing this performance to go on, Jade will simply end up gathering what things they do have and getting them into the saddlebags, giving them a visual clear that they are going to be moving on very quickly. Not saying a word, but her eyes do keep going back to DJ.
Okay. For the rest of you, you get this impression. The air almost has sort of like a shimmer to it, like a metallic sheen, and while there's not a mechanical effect that I'm imposing on you, there is this feeling of energy. There is a feeling of viciousness, but not necessarily viciousness as in cruelty, but viciousness as a pure expression of oneself. Mordecai, for you, you are getting a resonance with this. There's still nothing mechanical that I'm applying to you, but as a prompt from DM to player, this kind of emotion, this vibe, is resounding inside of you in a way that you can express. I believe in you. That would be different than, say, Noralai just feeling a little like stirred up or feeling a little bit more aggressive about wanting to find her brother, or she's just upset, and so she just wants to like punch a pillow, and she's like, oh, I can't believe I caused such violence.
So it's more intense then?
Yeah, you are getting a very intense primal resonance with Tazray.
Norlai, give me more to cluck.
What are you gonna do to her?
You want to keep this monster at bay, don't you?
You're not feeding more to cluck to him.
Perhaps then
Give
we should end up feeding
me
the snake.
the chicken.
No. Mine. You said you didn't want to take care of it.
Fine. And he just throws a water skin over at Tazray.
Okay. I'm sorry if I'm presuming that you all are going inside. You don't have to, but I just for my visual reconnaissance or recognition here that you all are in the cabin. Actually, because you are back here, So we're back inside, or at least most of you are. Tazray catches your the skin, the blood skin. I don't know what you want to call it, the blood bladder. Ooh, that's kind of it's a metal name. Blood bladder.
Just trying to save everyone the visuals.
Why? Oh, right. I forgot this is Maddie's stream. If it was mine,
it's
like,
still in the
you better not
PG-13
skip on
range. That's fine.
I'd rather have him savage more to luck than me.
Okay, but you're throwing one of your own, like your personal stock, or are you grabbing the chicken from Norlai and?
I mean, if
I
I can
will
grab the
fight you.
chicken, if I can
I
grab
will
the
fight
chicken
you
from
for this
her, I
chicken.
will.
That's hey, this isn't D&D time. If you all want to have a mini PvP to wrest a chicken from a little girl, then you can do so.
I want to, but I don't want to.
I haven't even come in the room yet, so it doesn't really matter to me. I'm staying outside.
Should you though, Mordecai? This isn't the DM going you should, but this is the DM asking
If
should
I'm
you?
feeling a little bit more testy right now, then yes, I'm probably going to wrestle him from her.
Okay.
So before that happens, Peggy Sue and I are still standing outside the
Yes.
door, and we are keeping watch. And I am asking Peggy Sue to fly kind of in orbit around the cabin in case Raphael shows up.
I would.
Gotcha.
I'd be
Noted.
probably by the door, if not outside as well.
Okay. Okay. So, Norlai, you, I mean, minding so many pets is a big responsibility, but it can be also difficult to mind a donkey, a chicken, and a potted plant that does react in various ways to its surroundings here. Mordecai, make an athletics versus Norlai's acrobatics or athletics. So we'll do this contested.
Okay, never mind.
You can still roll one.
Woo! All right. All right. So with an athletics of 2, Mordecai, you're feeling kind of like pumped. You have this energy, you have this resonance going on. You lunge towards Norlai standing in the doorway, and Norlai, with her acrobatics of 17 here, is able to. She just very quickly, almost like with a little pirouette, still holding Mordecluck, and the potted plant, does a little twist and turn out of the way, and you almost do a plant right into the door frame here.
I'm gonna hold Mordecluck in one in the other in front of Mordecluck, so he has to get past Herbert too.
And Tazray begins just laughing. Oh, I haven't felt this good in a while. Not in this way, I believe.
So, I mean, this might be a little bit out of place for me to say, but just someone give Tazray the horror Capri Sun already?
I don't know what that is, but... And he kind of... Ooh! The bed creaks as he stands up and his own body creaks. Because he probably has a couple, things that are broken and on the way to mend because of, vampirism, but... I have to hand it to this fellow over here. He knows how to sing a song even if he says moo a lot. I don't feel so hungry right now, I don't believe. I could use a drink, but, Oh, Bright, I'm sorry about before. It's difficult to control my urges. And it's just that, well, please, take this the best possible way. But you look absolutely delicious. I could just eat you up. I mean that too. I really could. You're really small.
We're not going to eat people. You need to control yourself, Tazray.
Oh, well, I'm in control right now. I feel good. I haven't felt like this since... I haven't felt this good since I was shoveling snow with Tibber. And he sits back down, but he's at kind of a restful. Oh. Well, I don't know how long it'll last, but I'm thankful for the break I was given.
And I just slowly walk up to him and give him my one of my water skins.
What's in here?
Blood.
What kind?
Pork.
Thank you. And cheers.
You owe me.
Oh, that's fine. You show me to where a pig is and I'll slaughter it for you. I'll crack it in half and we can bang them together like pals.
To be fair, I don't like the visual. I'd rather not suck it directly from the animal if I can help it.
If you can help
You
it.
can't.
Jade and... I think Jade and Tazray in chorus. You're going to hear this in stereo. If we want to keep up kind of like a musical theme here. Well, I understand. You don't yet. I hope, Mordecai, that you never will. This has been absolutely the best and worst thing that I've ever had happen to me. It's... I don't know how to explain it. Even in this state where I'm... You know... Where I'm, and Taz seems to be at a loss for words.
At a loss of control.
The word loose. Well, I'm feeling really loose right now. Right? That's the word.
I'd be careful in that state. It makes you a danger to just about everyone around you.
Nothing about this particular ailment that we suffer from has done me any good. But then again, I don't want to go further. So, I am not going to be like you.
Oh, I hope you never do. It's kind of interesting seeing what I could have been when I look at you, Mordecai. And it's also rather interesting to see what we could be if we look at Raphael. Although I don't think he's like us. I think he might be, he might have it worse.
As in not able to control himself at all.
I think he's in total control, but I don't know whose. Not sure if it's his. Not that we got to talking. We was skirmishing. And, well... He really
How
put
did you
one
get
over.
away?
I had to
I'm
break
under
and
the
run.
impression that he
It was
didn't.
shameful. But if I needed to continue, I had to move. And as you know, barbarians get extra movement in the player's hand. No, he's a...
Yeah, you're pretty quick.
Not quick enough, apparently.
He savaged me good. Poor Raphael. We was gonna be gladiator buddies. Going into the sand pits and fight and earn and get glory.
Oh, that life left you a long, long time ago. Please don't end up making a mockery of it by trying to wax nostalgic on something you never dreamed of. That wasn't you. That was the person before you started getting up and walking again.
Well, I
So,
don't believe I use that
stop.
wax on my scales. It's something else. I think bees, maybe wasps.
Bees.
So glad that we're all on the same page. Look, is anybody else here wanting to end up sharing a sob story at this point, or shall we end up moving on? Because I am quickly wanting to end up getting on the road. There's no more benefit for us to remain here, and I am sure I'm not the only one, she looks to Norlai, who wishes to end up getting this on the road. We have people to find, leads to follow, places to go, despite my all intentions. And Tazare, you have found us, which means now you don't have to end up doing any more tracking. So that put that in the win column for you. But right now, the rain is not going to let up, and we can end up sitting here and waxing nostalgic all we want. No, that's not what you put on your scales.
Oh.
And to speak on, we are on DJ's time. DJ's been kind enough to end up aiding us in our travels. Shall we end up not wasting his time any further, or is there something I'm missing in this statement?
DJ is fine with this. He's not offering any kind of protest, though he does add, it would seem my music ability has been able to soothe more than one beast here. I can continue with you as I too am learning.
DJ, I am grateful for everything you've done. I cannot express on how much your time has meant to me. And the truth of the matter is I have no idea where I would end up if it were not for you. I feel a certain degree of indebtedness to your person, but understand that we have to continue, and delays are not in any way aiding. So unless there's something that I am missing, because I'm sure that Bright might have an idea or two, and Mordecai, if I understand it correctly, has lost the trail for Raphael, and Celine has already had her time with the bodies, and Tazare has now fed to the point where he will not be eating our mode of transportation or our driver.
Or any of us.
I would like to see him try.
Oh, Celine died.
Uh-oh. Bye.
No. Just refreshing.
Oh,
I'm still
okay.
here.
I didn't do it.
Celine was an illusion this whole time.
The scene changed, but my Roll20 client didn't change the scene, so I had to refresh.
Ah.
It's all good though. Fixed it.
Okay.
And now you're missing on the camera.
Shouldn't be. Nah, give me a sec.
Okay.
Well,
That should go.
Lorelai, are
There
you
we
feeling
go.
better? Sickness-wise?
Yeah, I'm alright. But you're not getting close to Mordecai ever again.
I'm down a day's food, so we'll see how cranky I get and how willing you were willing to let that go.
No, if you wanted to drink from her, you should have kept her. But no, so she's mine now.
I love how you're discussing the chicken as a piece of property to be consumed at one's leisure. I wonder how long it'll take before you start discussing people in the same manner.
That's not gonna happen.
Keep telling yourself that, Mordecai. You might remind yourself that I too have that slight twinge. I just haven't crossed over yet, and if I do, heaven help us all.
I'm not even going to comment. Squabble at your leisure.
Well, If all is well, then I will end up seeing you all in the wagon. I will begin preparing it while I still can.
Well, yes. While we're inside, I'm gonna have a look at that object that's in my pack.
Okay.
The leathery object.
So Jade exits and is checking things over. Celine, you remove the book. It is a little damp, but it's not falling apart for it. And you see that it is indeed a rather thick leather-bound book. The pages appear in pretty good order. A little bit of waviness, maybe due to the material and/or age, or just having gotten a little bit wet.
All right.
Doomfish, thank you very much for the raid. And so yeah, Doomfish, welcome. We're having an interesting moment now of revelation as Selene is pulling a mysterious object out of her backpack. There is a moment when perhaps the sheen of water on the red leather, as you're taking it out, and in kind of the dim light that's present here, it plays off of the wet sheen, and you see the face of that woman in red that you met not all that long ago on the outskirts of Snam Phi. And the face vanishes, and inside there is, let's see, this would be, you speak Infernal? Or which languages do you speak?
I speak a lot of them, but I don't think Infernal is one of them.
Okay, which ones do you speak? Is it Celestial? You speak Celestial, right?
I do. I speak Abyssal, Celestial, Draconic, and Elvish, along with Common.
We're gonna put this in Celestial, actually. So in the Celestial script, maybe something that it's a little shocking to see. It's not a very common language at all. It's not even really an uncommon language. Where in the world is Weejas? Is written on the front page, like just under the cover. And you do see imprinted on the red leather of the cover where this like a reflection of a woman's face was there, but you do see now sort of embossed into the red leather is the symbol of Weejas. And for the rest of the book, there's nothing else written. There's a couple hundred pages, and besides the first page, almost like a title page, not even with an author listed, you are seeing nothing else. It's empty parchment.
So it's just parchment, yeah?
Yeah, it's nicely bound in this red leather book.
Okay, no, I just thought that I would ask, making sure it's not bound and not written on something fancy like vellum or whatever. But she looks at it and she just raises a brow and she's like, "What?" She turns to the others to Bright. If Bright has come inside at this point, or if not, just to Mordecai and Noralai. She goes,
"Bright, have you? Otherwise, I mean, Jade has gone outside to tend to
I mean,
things."
I'm still kind of watching in case Raphael comes back.
Okay.
But no, I mean, if Celine wants to talk to me, though, I'm not far. I'm just outside the door.
Okay. All right. So that'll happen in a little bit. But first, because the two tieflings are in the room, she'll turn to them first, and she's like, "I have no idea where I got this from."
Did you accidentally take it from the library?
No! I never even picked this up!
Sure.
It says in Celestial, in the front page, where in the world is Ouijas? And then it has about another 150 or so pages of nothing. I mean, it's a nice book, but
That
where
sounds
did it
like
come from?
If it's empty, it sounds like a journal of some kind, but like, what kind of phrase is where in the world is Ouijas? Ouijas is a god. She's not on this plane of existence.
Oh, so that's the answer. You should write that in.
I mean, exotic. I thought that was obvious. Yeah, she's quite the bibliophile. She loves her books, but it's like, I don't know where this came from, and she shows it. It's like, it's written in Celestial, of all languages.
I can't read Celestial.
No, but you reading it isn't the point. The point is, it's written in Celestial, the language of
Deities.
angels and gods. I would like to make an insight check. If I can.
Insight?
Yes.
Okay. What's so if you're trying to gauge what intention or
basically it's the insight to like to connect, like the instinct to connect the dots and be like, this might be a sign from Ouijas herself.
why don't we do this? Why don't you make we'll combine the two, have a little bit of fun here, why don't you give me a wisdom-based religion check? I guess we're going old school, like 3rd edition, and it's probably older too, but at least in 3rd edition I know.
Yeah, no, I believe knowledge religion was intelligence or wisdom based on whatever class you were. But no, that'd be 1d20 plus 6. That's an 18.
An 18. All right, so you're pondering this, you know, the intention of the gift versus the what you're remembering from your study and your scripture. There's nothing that's necessarily like this that you remember. It's certainly her holy symbol that is emblazoned on the book. What could the meaning of this be? There's nothing that's popping out. It's not like this is the lost, this is, one of Fistandantalis's lost spell books, if any of you are familiar with Dragonlance in that setting. Or it's not, High Cleric so-and-so's personal diary of revelation or something along those lines. This is a gift from my goddess. It is... She's the goddess of death. She's the goddess of magic. And it was given to me. Why would she want me to have something like this? Especially knowing how much I do enjoy books. And with an 18 especially, because this is all kind of, set-up questions, more rhetorical, kind of throwing it back at you. Let me check something. Ooh, this is being a little slow. Yes. I'm going to copy something here. What is it about me? As a deity, and I follow this person to, to find significance, to find answers, to try and be a better person. Oh, I think... Is this coming through to you? I don't know if it's my computer or something is being, super kind of derpy right now.
I don't know. The stream seems.
Well,
It chopped for me for a second.
a little okay.
Yeah, hear me.
Yeah, I'm not showing any drop frames, but I don't know, maybe something was chugging. Well, anyway, so you're thinking, you're having introspection, right? We're mixing religion and insight, and we're mixing the expression of yourself and the reflection of yourself as well.
Right, yeah.
And you're thinking, why would this person to whom I reach out to try and learn and understand and be a better person, why would she give me something like this? And a bit of revelation pops into your brain. Obviously, no one outside, the group here can see the note that I put, and I'll leave that for you to ponder and or express.
Of course. If it were a snake, it would have bit me.
That's a notebook.
So,
Or
roll
some kind of journal?
1d20. Just kidding. I probably wouldn't have hit you anyway with that roll.
I mean, it's empty, right?
Just watch out for Yori.
Yeah.
Empty books are meant for taking notes, right?
That's true.
No, I got Yori. It's okay.
That's a notebook.
He's more of a danger noodle, really.
Yeah, he's a danger noodle, not a notebook. It's like, of course, it's a new journal to take notes.
Were you running low on paper on the other one?
I mean, it's always good to have a second one just as a backup, but I suppose. She'll make some she'll make some notes in it because she's got some notes that she wanted to put down from the stuff that she's seen very recently. Anyway, so she'll put down some notes in the book.
Of what?
Musings on the current nature of Raphael and on the the uncontrolled nature of Tazray's bloodlust and how that might apply to Mordecai eventually.
Okay. You make notes. The paper is holding your notes now, as per paper.
So we're packing up to go, yeah.
That seems to still be the plan. Celine
Yeah.
has her nose and is kind of scribbling in a book.
Interesting. Well, she'll put the notes in and she'll close the book and put it away.
Okay.
And the next time they have time to sit down, she'll probably start transcribing all of her notes into the new book.
Very well. All right. So Celine has an arts and crafts project going on. Mordecai, I mean, you got your own thing going on. Norlai is busy playing Pet Keeper. Jade is rounding up the everything, and Bright is playing Lookout. Bright, give me a perception. Oh, you were ready for that. All right. All right. In looking around, there does not appear to be any trace of Raphael that you can detect.
Hey, that's okay. I'm still worried he might come back, and I don't want to get surprised.
Okay, you are vigilant. You're if something were to come to it, then you're clearly not paranoia, but your caution will be taken into account. Jade, it's not going to take you too much time to get everything ready, because really Brayson wasn't hooked up to anything. As it was just loaded up with stuff in these saddlebags and whatnot, and it was DJ who was pulling his own cart. Nothing is really disturbed, so it's a little bit of an accounting, whatever, making sure that the bolts are on tight, but it doesn't take you too much longer. Before you come back in, you see Selena's scribbling in a red book, and Bright is there, kind of on the lookout. It's maybe an air of caution or pensiveness. A little chilly, kind of humid, as you'd expect. But things that aren't on fire continue to remain not being on fire.
That's
okay. We can change that.
That's always a wonderful change of pace. Though that does end up making me wonder. So, at this point, Celine is writing in a book.
Yes.
Mordecai and Tazare are sharing some red substance, which I can only pray ended up coming from a hog. Norlai is currently there with some kind of crossbow with all the pets in the corner, standing on guard duty, I imagine. And Bright is looking outside of a window.
Oh, I'm still standing outside, trying not to be too cold.
And Jade would probably approach Bright.
Hi. It was so nice of you to come outside. I hope I didn't miss too much. I felt like people weren't taking the Raphael threat very seriously, considering how dangerous he seemed to be.
Well, to be fair, I don't think anybody takes much seriously anymore. Between one of us dying and coming back, the other being infected with a plant creature that wants to experience life, the other one who wishes to take care of plant creatures and the like. Myself, well, the less said about that, the better. And yourself, well,
I think it's okay if we say more things about you. I think you're get a little better, and I know that might be stressful for you because you were used to being the way you have been, but I think you're makes me really happy.
I'm glad to end up hearing that. I'm really glad to hear that, Bright. But our time is limited. And when I say that, I don't mean that in the, come on, let's go, I'm getting impatient. It's limited.
So, it probably means it that way too. I feel the same way. I don't want to spend any more time here than we have to. But what did you mean?
3 days. That's what I get. 3 days.
Then what happens?
Cogs need to be replaced.
Well, you should make the most of those 3 days. Does that include, like, the day that's already happened? Is it 3 more days, or?
Yes, it includes today.
Well, so we only have 2 days left, and I think we should make the most of them. I want to learn as much as you can tell me about yourself, and where you came from, and how you used to be, and what your life was like before you... the things that you've met, and how you turned into what you've become. Because I think it's really important to me to learn those things.
Right. I need you to understand something. I know it's important to you, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you've taken that time. But the fact is that of all the individuals in this entire group, you're the one I think everybody needs to worry the most for.
Is that?
Because I see it. It bottles up A lot. At least I have an outlet. It gnaws at you. And I know you see things. And like you said, you wish that it could change. I don't believe it can, but you need to believe that it can. That's the biggest difference between the two of us, isn't it?
I think that is a big difference between the two of us. It's not just what I need to believe, but what I actually do believe. It's we just have to be able to make our own way and not have it dictated to us. And honestly, even ever since we went in the Fey Cave, which was sucky and poopy, but ever since we went in there, things have looked a little different for me. I haven't been seeing things as far into the future as before. They're usually things that are just about to happen in just a few seconds, and I haven't seen anything really, really horrible. I mean, some things I've seen have been bad, but mostly they've just been silly or helpful. So I feel like it's already starting to get better for me. It seems like it's getting better for you too. Saying that it's going to get worse again. Although maybe it's not worse, maybe it's just different. I guess it depends on how you see it.
I guess. In the spirit of your want to know, I will, to the best of my ability, answer whatever questions you have. But since I'd rather not spend the entire evening answering questions outside of a door where it's soaking wet and where your hair is getting all ruined, how about we restrict it to 3, right? 3 questions I will answer to the best of my ability. And if that's to your satisfaction, once I do, you help me get this lot moving. I'd rather see home while I can still appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to get this lot moving right now. But I don't want to waste too much time. I mean, we could talk on the way if you want.
Oh, I'm sure we can talk the whole evening. But after all, time is wasting and the sun is coming, and that becomes a bit of an issue for 2 of us. So, what are your questions?
So the first question is, you keep when you're talking to yourself, or sometimes not just to yourself, you keep talking about him, but you never say who him is. So who's him?
She takes a deep breath for a moment. So, I made mention of that, did I? I'm not 100% sure what I have told and what I haven't, but him. Jacob. I miss him. I hope he missed me. And I hope never to see him again. Family is taxing at the best of times, but Jacob was very special. And I'm sure if you met him, that you'd find him quite charmed. You'd find him interesting, full of energy in life. Or at least you would have at the start. And then it would have gotten worse. I think by the end, you would have grew to hate him. And that would have broke his heart. It's funny the way those things would have worked out.
So when you say family, was he like your brother or like your husband or?
Brother. Older. He was, I guess right now he still is, still a guardsman. He protects noble interests, and is, well, our father and our father's father and him before him. Stewards of sorts, I guess you could call us. Very much servants to great houses.
See, so that's how you got your. Now that you're a little bit fixed, you're so much more
Eloquent?
comfortable. Remind me of some of the people that used to hire me back when I just drew pretty things for people.
I hope that's not a bad thing.
It's not. It doesn't have to be. I didn't like all of those people, but I liked a lot of them.
I believe that was your second question, right? This is your third.
Okay,
I hope you'll make it interesting.
so I want to know what it is that you did, because you used to be on one path where you would have been like just a normal person, and then you're on this other path now, and I want to know what it is that you did that made you change paths.
I stole Jacob's. Imagine for a moment the one person that you care more than anything in this world, and you knew they were going to go through hell, and you knew that they were going to come out of it broken, beaten. You knew that by the end they would blame themselves, their failings, and in the end, it ends with a 6-foot rope and a beam. Because you can't live with what you did. And you are filled with nothing but shame. Shame and disgust at the thing in the mirror. So much so you forsake your own name. Because you killed a companion. Because you let another dear friend die, of one you would sing songs with every night. You had to turn your back on the most delightful person you've ever met. And you would have to betray the trust of one of so much faith. And lastly, you would have to kill someone very near and dear, someone you hold dear. And all of this will come to pass. And in the end, it ends with a rope and a barn, alone in the cold, and hoping that it's quick. I can't let him go through that. I can't ever let him go through that. So long as I am on this path, so long as I keep the course, he will never know the life that was supposed to be his. And so long as it remains so, he can be happy, or at least have a chance at it. The wheels don't care who does the turning, so long as they are turned. But they will turn. Do you understand that, Bry?
Don't know that it's a question of understanding. I think that maybe the wheels have to turn, but it's our choice which way we turn them. Turn them forward and other times backward.
If you were from the north and you worked in those mines, would it be safe to say that you know how to dress for the cold? If you worked in flower fields, would it not be adequate to know that you've at least had some experience or at least observation of gardening? These are not happenstance. These are things that happen because of the location of your birth and raising. Do you not know how to wield a sword when you become a guardsman? That is something that is trained. Do you think you became a guardsman because You chose it, or because that was the path that was set by the circumstances around. Cause, effect. There is no difference. The only illusion was the choice. And those that are delusional enough to believe that they chose it. It's a wonderful ignorance. I envy them at times. I envy Jacob. So much so I hate him at times. But maybe that shows that love and hate are closer than anyone would care to admit. They are not opposites. They are the same face. Because ultimately, it means you care of the fate of another. Whether you wish them ill or gain, it doesn't matter. You care. Perhaps that's why I end up reminding Mordecai that I will kill him. Because I care about what will happen to him in his memory. And before it gets out of what kind of a monster he's become, to those who knew him in life, I think it's best that they think that he simply died, and not know that every night he is thinking the same thought that I have, probably much larger. Just slit the throat and drink the wound. He won't openly acknowledge it. He won't say it, because he's trying to be the good one. But I see it in his eye. Give him a few days of not feeding, and he will turn. And then I'm going to have to do something. I promised I would, because it's what Jacob promised him.
I really enjoyed that. I'm really glad you were able to tell me that. I know it might have been hard for you, and I really appreciate that you trust me with it. And a secret, it's just that you never really understood why the rest of us just didn't get it, and I can appreciate that too. Um, so, just let me things to think about. But I mean, you haven't killed Mordecai yet.
Because Jacob hasn't killed Mordecai yet.
If you knew that he had to be killed, aren't you making a choice every day when you don't kill him? Making a choice not to?
I'm simply playing the role, the part. It will come to that one day. If we don't fix what is broken. But I don't hold hope that Mordecai will end up getting better. Because if I did, I might hesitate. And then he will rip my throat out. He will bleed me. And then the worst part, I will become as him. Except I am not going to have the foundations that he has. I'll become ravenous, wild, a monster of the highest sort. And I really don't want to see that barn.
Okay. Well, I promise I'll never ask you to go in a barn. I think we can rule that out for right now. But I guess every day Mordecai makes a choice not to slit that throat. And when he makes the choice not to slit the throat, it means you don't have to kill him. And every day he doesn't slit that throat, we're closer to choosing our own fate.
Well, when I finally do, I do apologize if I start screaming that I have a meat wagon built for two.
Okay. I won't mind if you scream that. understand it, but I won't mind it.
With that, Jade goes into the building. We're ready.
All right. Well,
Hi,
so Jade and Bright
I'm ready. Let's go.
come back in. Celine, you've been making some notes. Mordecai and Norelai. I mean, you've been doing your thing. I mean, Norelai, if you've been tending to the pets.
Close eyes on him.
Norelai, do me a
in the
favor.
corner.
Herbert's in front of me and Mordecai.
Norelai, make an animal handling for me, please.
I've just been sitting in the corner, just watching Tazray.
Okay. Norelai, during this time where, people are pensive or communicating, watching, I mean, between Mordecai and Tazray, I mean, we have two very wet vampires, so this is a hell of a staring contest to see who blinks first, because neither really have to, and they're already moisturized. It's, as you're tending to your, to the pets, you notice that Mordecluck has, in fact, laid an egg during this time of not stress, this time of comfort. You're providing some very basic chicken handling skills, soothing clucks, and head pats. It is, so you know how you have the traditional white eggs, and there's even, you can get brown eggs. This one is kind of a pink color with red freckles.
Maybe it's a gnome egg.
Do gnomes hatch from eggs? I don't believe they do.
Well, no, but I mean, there's always a first time.
All
Right,
dwarves pop out
Selena,
of
what
eggs.
Amazing
Yeah.
optimism.
That animal identification. I mean, this is a chicken egg, but I haven't seen a chicken egg that looks like this.
Well, do you want me to have a look?
I've never
Yeah.
seen a.
See if I know something about an egg
Well-
that's pink and spotted and...
I mean, sometimes there's pink eggs. Just not
If
from
you
chickens
paint them that
usually.
way, maybe.
Shall I roll like a history?
Give me... No, you can give me a, let's see. Give me a nature.
Nature. Okay. That's a natural 20!
Hey.
Okay.
You just happen to have that curiosity when you were younger and, like, what are these odd color eggs?
Well, look, for many people, learning about the birds and the bees kind of happened in the farmyard, so you got to learn about that cycle of life. Celine, with that, you can make a medicine at advantage, also.
Medicine with advantage.
Yes. Por favor.
That's an 18.
18 and definitely not a 7. You take a moment to examine this egg. Certainly from the breed which Mordecluck was, this is not the eggs that you should be getting. And looking into this and putting some pieces together, given your own curiosities and your own medical knowledge, it would seem that Mordecluck has laid an egg filled with blood.
Oh, that makes perfect sense because he sprouted from Mordecai.
An egg
And-
filled... This egg is filled with blood.
So
Oh,
he
yeah.
lays eggs that Mordecai can eat instead of the regular eggs because he sprouted from Mordecai. It makes perfect sense.
Mordecluck does
Mordecai
appear
eat-
rather exhausted, and is just sort of feeling.
We're gonna
Lazy.
have to make sure that Mordecai gets lots of iron supplements in his grain if he's gonna lay blood eggs all the time.
Quite.
Wild magic is friggin' weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you're
haven't
telling
seen
me.
This effect yet.
We have a chicken that's laying blood eggs.
I mean, haven't you heard
It's
the story
awfully
about the goose
convenient.
that laid golden eggs? It's not that different.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
It's a
not
fairy
as
tale.
valuable.
Yes, but that's just an alchemist daydream. This is actually happening.
I don't know. I mean, I know cloud giants are real, so why wouldn't there be geese that lay golden eggs too? I mean, we have a chicken that lays blood eggs.
Celine, what are you doing with the egg?
I don't know.
Tazray's kind of staring at you. Well, in your direction, but you're holding this egg. And you're saying it's a blood egg.
It's like, well, I mean, we can feed it to Tazray and see what happens. Here you go, Tazray. You gotta toss in the egg.
Sure.
Taz looks over to you, Mordecai. You think it'll be all right? Can I have your egg?
I don't want it right now. Go ahead. Sure.
You know how much I love eggs. I wrestled a druid for quite a ransom of them.
That was a pretty epic fight, not gonna lie.
Well, it doesn't sound as good if I say a druid. I wrestled a bear.
You did wrestle a bear.
Yes, you did. You did wrestle a bear for that.
You see Tazray. He takes the egg. Now, the egg doesn't look like cat butt. You're just gonna have to trust me. He takes the egg, kind of cracks it on his head, and it splits open, and you do see Mordecai. Like vivid red blood is dripping out of this thing, and so Tazray opens his mouth and there is eats it down, and his eyes widen, and he looks at you, just kind of like giving a little bit of a little bit drip down his side, and you know he's a silver dragonborn, so that vivid red really stands out. Oh, that was the best blood I've had. Oh,
What do you mean by best?
it makes me feel kind of tingly.
It's fresh laid blood.
Fresh,
And-
I guess, but
Fresh laid blood. Of all the things that I thought that I would ever hear in my life,
Yeah.
that was
Blood-
not one of them.
Blood laid fresh daily. So let's do this. I don't know about you all, but I need to get up and take like a 10-minute break to stretch and refill my pitcher. So with this, it's especially because it sounds like y'all are gonna be heading out in the rain here. Let's take a 10-minute break and come back, and we'll continue on the heels of this.
I mean,
Yeah.
many different ways to arrange three words together, and I'm just trying to find the new ones. So fresh laid blood. That's one of the new ones.
God damn it, Brian.
All right, I'll see y'all back in 10 minutes.
All right.